Right, I'm Darren from tvONE, and I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the new Calico Studio. Let's have a look. Right, so we've redesigned the homepage to be a bit more modern and user-friendly, better looking. Added a few more features to the way you can discover and connect to your devices. Just a bit more of a modern kind of feel. And we've introduced kind of jump lists almost, where you could have a list of project that you've previously created and used all the time. You can pin them to the top of the list or unpin them. If you don't use it anymore, you can remove it. And the same happens with the device. Once you connect to your device, it'll show up in this list, and you can remove them or pin them as you like. Once you enter into the actual editor, you present it with the canvas, which is where you can position all the displays in Windows. And just as a not to go over all stuff, but the main new features of Calico Studio is the ability to package up a display, which we call package outputs. So you can enter into the package outputs by clicking that button. You go in here, you've got the ability to paste in from a CSV. So if you've got it in Excel or something, you can copy and paste straight out of there into here. If you've already got it in here, you can copy these values out and paste it into Excel, so you can change it there and then add it back in later if you want. You can also enter the maps directly. If you know what they are, you can type the values in down here. Or you can, if there's a template, you can just choose it from the templates. So as we're going to show you what the wall looks like later, I'll just use the demo we used for InfoComm. So you choose that, it adds it all in, it's got all the maps set. Once you're happy with that, you can change the resolution, you can set a custom resolution if you want, make sure it's locked to the canvas, and then apply. Once that's done, that output is now split into those packaged outputs that we've just created. You can add them individually, but you can also just add them all at once by clicking on that button. Now that's added them all into the canvas. Once you're on the canvas, you just move it around as you would any display in previously. It's the same. This is now a new display that can be moved independently. So to replicate the wall we've got on the stand, this is what we did. Just rotate. Just rotated the pillars, added those in. Rotate that pillar. There we go. So that's a quick way of how you can take a single output, package it up into different pieces, and then move it around, manipulate the canvas. And that's it. And then from the source side, we have a similar feature now where you can crop the source. So the same as what we did for the wall on the demo, we added in the source, which was packaged up with a whole bunch of different content, all packaged into a single 4K input. And then you can go into the source crop, and you enter in the values if you know them. So for our top left, we had it set to this size, so I know what the size is, so I can just type it right in. It starts in the top left. That's it. Exit there. Now I've cropped that source, and I have a window that's just that crop. I can move it around, manipulate it as you would any other window. You can scale this. It's exactly like another window. It's just that one part of it. So you can add it again, the same source if you're cutting out the same section. Go back into source crop. We've also added the handles to help with, if you're not quite sure, if you have live changes on, you'll see this happening on your display. So you can kind of look at your screen, make these changes, see what's happening in real time. You're happy with that, you leave that and exit there, and now you've got your new piece. There's a couple of helpers in there as well if you're trying to, especially if you're trying to do a lot of crops that are the same. If you've got like a 360 by 360, you can enter that, and then you press that button there, it creates a copy, move that over, press the button, creates a copy, move. So you can quickly scale this out. So if you've got a lot of stuff to do that's all the same, you can just keep doing that. And the snapping and everything works in there as well. So if you've got grid lines or guidelines, it'll snap to those. And that's it. You leave that, close that, and now you've got those four are added in. So that's the source cropping. And the other new big feature is the label editor. So we have a label editor now, which you can enter up the top there. Once you're in here, there is a label assets on the left, which is labels that you've previously created, will be stored here, and you can create them directly from here. We have a text label, an image label, or a live source label, which is effectively a crop of any input that's coming into the system, and then it saves those parameters, which you can use later. You can add them on the left, or you can add them from directly in the label editor. So in here, if I don't have anything selected, if I say new text label, I can type in some text in there, adjust the font size. We can adjust some padding around the outsides, as well as alignment, foreground color, background color, fonts, which is one built-in font, but there will be user uploadable fonts. You can set the border color and the size. Once you're happy with that, you add it. It'll create the assets and add it to the canvas at the same time. So now it's on the canvas. You can move it around when you're in the label editor. You can scale it like you would a window. Once you're happy with the position, you then leave the label editor. Now that label's there permanently. You can't accidentally move it. It's there. If you want to change the labels or do any editing, you enter back into the label editor. You select a label. You can make changes to it, resize it. One of the things you can do with a label is you can parent it to something. So in this case, I'll parent it to window 1. Once I've done that, that label is now linked to window 1. So if window 1 moves, that label will move with it. And if it rotates, it maintains its position. Labels, there is another type of label if you enter into the label editor, which is a source label. The source label it's always associated to that window that you have selected. You add it, it'll tell you what the name currently is. You have the same configuration options. Once you're happy, you add it. That's now linked to that window. So it's permanently assigned to that window. And what that'll do is, if this window's source changes, so at the moment this is set to S3I1, if a preset or a control or something changed it to S5I1, for example, you'll see that update. The text will update to the new alias. And I think that pretty much covers everything.